Well, thank you very much. Listen, let's talk about it because there are a plethora of really not great news for Sony. And again, folks, we're not
Let's not stop.
trolling. No. But the truth of the matter is that I want this to be understood. This isn't a we're not trolling, we're not console warring. We're asking questions here, and I think that we're allowed to do that. Full throated. Pause. No Diddy. Right.
Full throated.
I mean, look. Think about this for a second, folks. Let me just paint the picture for you. They closed London studios after 20 years 2 days ago. Is there a journalistic outrage? Are people running into the streets with their PlayStation 6s, 5s, and 4s in hands to throw them in the garbage? Has anyone from social media said that this is bad for the industry? It's a bad look for Sony. How dare they close this studio after 20 years? They were pioneers and helped PlayStation get to where they want, and now they're gone. No fanfare, no nothing, whatever. Okay,
The
that's
main VR studio,
what's
right?
that?
That's the main studio making VR stuff for them. They
Yep.
made good VR games. They trick people into buying a VR, like me. They
There
trick
you
me
go.
into buying the
Yeah.
VR too, and they shut down one of the main studios who actually made good VR games. I was looking forward to something that they were going to do next. Maybe that would have been a reason to get, to play it on my headset. But no, nobody says anything about that. It's all good. No, there's no doom and gloom about
Yep.
why do they have a peripheral that already, number one, we know that they're backing out of because they're going ahead and now making it for a PC, allowing you to use your headset there. They're closing the studios that make games for it. It's like, why no talk about this, right? Why is this not an issue? Because you know why? Those people probably don't play VR, right? So that studio doesn't matter to them, right? Those people don't matter when they lose their jobs because they work on something that the journalists don't care about, right?
Yep.
It's all hypocritical, bro. It's all hypocritical. That being said, this this show, what is it? This business update,
This
right?
business update, if you will,
So
beyond
this is the thing.
boundaries, as it was called.
Facts. So this is the thing. This is what the guys in the chat and the guys who are out here trying to downplay what took place last night are failing to understand. Sony was talking to its investors and the people who are going to invest in it to make them excited about what Sony is working on. And you know
TTS,
what the
brother.
fuck they didn't have in there to tell their investors to be excited about?
Games.
PlayStation news. Okay.
Yeah.
They did not look at a new hardware announcement, at any idea of what is going to come from PlayStation, what they're going to work on for PlayStation as something that they think that the investors are going to care about. They're showing you that that is where they're looking at their PlayStation business. It's not about the consumer and their games that is going to make them excited. What are they looking at? They're saying, you know what? We're making PlayStation games in service of having IP that we can use elsewhere. We want to make IP that we could bring to movies, that we could bring to music. Apparently, it's everything other than the games themselves, or the thing that they're selling to their investors. Okay, this should be a problem because you know why? Even though you're not an investor in the Sony company, if you own a PlayStation, if you pay for their subscription, if you buy games on their service, you are an investor. You invested. But you know what they saw? They said your investment doesn't mean shit to them. They're using your investment to get to everybody else. But you, nah, you ain't nothing. You ain't shit. Every time I saw anything that had to do with PlayStation, it was always about IP, what the IP was, the usage of that IP elsewhere. They're not excited about their games anymore.
You know
That's
what's
just the reality of what it
interesting?
is.
Can I add some context so you can take
Absolutely.
this and run for a touchdown?
Yeah, man.
What's one of the biggest criticisms, ladies and gentlemen, that even we as Xbox fans have consistently given, Xbox shit for? What is it? When there's no news, there's a controller, right? And we're like, you know, I don't know so much about this. And we publicly, like, for instance, the whole layoff thing, get the flaming red orange controller. I mean, bad optics, bro. Like, honestly, we rode them like a go-go dance from Soul Train, right? Like we and they deserved it. But here's the thing. What did they show? Well, let me rephrase it. What did they show and what didn't they show? Well, they didn't show any games. They didn't update us with the roadmap that's happening for the remainder of 24, all through 2025 up until May when the new fiscal year starts. They did show us a futuristic controller, which is probably a decade out. I
Was
mean,
it
listen,
just like a screen and shit?
it's
Like,
like
what
a
the hell is he
screen
even
thing.
holding?
It looked like
is it
something that you
floating?
would get in Ready Player One. That's
Yes.
what it looked like. And you know what? That's awesome. I'll be down for that. But you kind of need games to play on that said controller? I don't know. So I'm going to be honest with you. What we've seen in the last couple of weeks, look, I want this to be perfectly crystal clear. Microsoft with me is not off the hook for the studio closures. It is not off the hook for me that we're not going to get a Hi-Fi Rush 2, a Tokyo Ghostwire 2, or an Evil Within 3. I have a problem with that. The studio closing, I have a problem with. But make no mistake, as shitty as that was and still is, if you're comparing apples to apples, which is PlayStation and Xbox, I don't see how anyone could show any confidence whatsoever with Sony PlayStation, knowing that they just had this massive business meeting and we learned nothing other than what Post Up said, where we're going to get TV. And someone actually just said that. Deploy 619 simply said TV. Isn't that what killed Xbox One? Isn't that what Donnie D was all about? You don't have any games, and you're talking about TV. Well, I mean, look, like I said, I mean, I couldn't sum it up any better than my brother Post Up said. All we saw were movies, music, and theme parks. Is that what the PlayStation fandom wants? I don't personally think so.
Facts.
I mean, Ghost of Tsushima did come out on PC. Great. I platinumed it. I'm not buying it again. If you are buying it, good on you. Maybe you waited. Someone like Pong So, who doesn't have a PS5 or 4, he's probably enjoying the S out of it, as he should, because he didn't get a chance to play it. So he's going to enjoy it. And some people are playing through it again. Awesome. But we cannot deny the facts, that they closed the studio. They had a business update, nothing on first party, nothing for the remainder of the year. They're not having a showcase. They are having a state of play. There was some talk about potentially an update to Concord, which I'm sure is not going to go over very well with the community because it's a gas game. I'm sorry to say, folks, pointing fingers at Xbox now makes you look really silly when you consider that Hellblade 2 came out. It is what it is. It's a masterclass experience, folks. Let's make no mistakes here. They have their showcase in 2 weeks, and they just started ramping up the marketing for Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which is on another level of marketing. It's May, see money, and this game is probably not coming out until October, maybe November, and they're already starting the marketing. And PS, by the way, I don't know, it's in Game Pass. Let's talk about it, man.
Facts. No, that's, I mean, it's crazy that they're actually starting so soon, right? Like they normally wait until it's revealed before they start going heavy into it. But listen, this is what we're talking about right now. This is a whole new ball game, and Xbox is going to want to push this and make it even bigger than it ever was before, especially since it's probably going to reach so many more people this time with, Nintendo and such being involved. I don't know if it's this Nintendo or the Switch 2 that they're doing. I don't know, but that being said, real quick, a lot of people want to point out the fact that this wasn't a PlayStation update, it was a Sony update. But understand, again, like I said, Sony owns PlayStation, and PlayStation is part of the package. If you look at the graph that they showed during the business event, PlayStation is the biggest thing that they have. Right on the graph, they showed the one. I could look it up actually, but they have the. I can tell you right now. I took a picture of it because I was like, "Oh, look at these Look at these people. Wait, have it right here. Okay, so they have pictures, music, and gaming. Okay, leveled out as their growth of entertainment businesses, and gaming is the biggest part by
Of
far.
course it is.
Okay,
It's the
like I
number
don't know if
one
you could
money maker for
see
them.
it,
See, yep, there
but
it is.
by
See it?
far
Yeah.
gaming. Okay, so let's understand, gaming is their business. So I could appreciate that when we look at it, we're saying, well, they didn't say it was a gaming event. It has to be. It's always about
What's part
gaming
of it? It's part of the
because that's their
conversation.
business. That's their
Yes.
business, right? So when people are getting investing in them, they're investing in them because of their position in gaming. Is That's the biggest reason that most of these people are investing in them. They're not lining up because of their music and fucking pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see the scale. It shows you, right? So again, they have to show something that matters to them. But again, in their eyes, they're showing you that with all that being said and how important it is, they didn't think that revealing a piece of hardware or even mentioning the idea of a hardware, update would benefit the
Dude,
situation
they
at
didn't
all.
even mention the Pro.
That's what I'm saying. The Pro
Like,
was nothing. All they showed was some future made up fucking hardware. You know what I'm saying? Like these glasses, these other things that was ridiculous, right? So this so far fetched in the future. Not that it can never happen, but we've seen things like this years ago from them, and we're still not in that same spot. And they've come up with new stuff to show us, right? So at the end of the day, it very much is a part of what they should have been talking about. Now, we only have a week left into the month. If you remember, there was a whole big talk about how they were going to have a PlayStation showcase of some sort,
yeah,
right?
I think it's a state of play. It's not going to
Yeah,
be a
state of play.
showcase. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's supposed to happen this upcoming year. I mean, this upcoming week. You know what I'm saying?
I
Because
could have sworn I saw a date. You know what? Let me do a
did
quick
they
look
already
for
announce
it.
it?
I'm not sure.
So I'm not sure. I mean, if they have one, great. Then that means at least they have something to show us there. But even then, you would still show them and go ahead and show why the gaming right now makes sense for them to be excited about because of what they are going to be pushing, right? What's going to be coming, not something so far off in the future. People buy stock and sell stock all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's to push for something like that is, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, so
Um,
I have a story in front of me, see, from PlayStationLifestyle.net. It was written by where are you Zarmini Khan. It says this. It's called The Days of Play. It says here Sony is reportedly set to hold its annual PlayStation Days of Play promotion for 2024 starting next Wednesday, possibly coinciding with the rumored showcase or state of play. It's increasingly looking like the rumored big PlayStation event is happening next week. And it's supposed to happen, according to them, according to the article, May 29th, which is next Wednesday. Um,
okay.
so
Good.
that's when the show is. It's, they're whatever you want to call it is supposed to happen.
Yeah. Well, good. If that happens, great, because they need to show us something, right? But even then, I still would look at this meeting that they had to show you exactly what they're really looking at here, right? And understand, if Microsoft was the one who had a meeting like this and making it so that Xbox is literally in discussion only as a source of gaining IP to make movies and other types of form of entertainment with, like, they would get so much shit for it. It
Dude,
would be ridiculous.
can I? This is see, folks. Look, the media is be the media. None of us are surprised, but here is where when we say Xbox tack, people are like, look nuts. Those guys are wearing tinfoil hats. They haven't touched grass. Whatever. Oh, fine.
Yep.
Okay. But let's bring the realities into the conversation. You know how I feel, folks. You hear me say it all the time. I'm all about that evidence-based conversation. Now, let's just say for shits and giggles, what happened last night was Xbox. There would have been 72 plus 4 articles written before the night was over about how Xbox is dead, how no information was put out there. There's no roadmap.
Microsoft is out of the gaming.
They're out of the game. They're selling it all. PlayStation is buying Xbox, right? That didn't happen, did it? No. But Sony has the business meeting, and let's call it like it is, folks. Sony's business is PlayStation. Without PlayStation, they're filing for Chapter 11. It is the one part of their business that is making bank for that company. We all know it. They know it. You know it. I know it. C knows it. No articles. As a matter of fact, the only article that I found was from VGC, and it had about 8 sentences, and that was it. No criticism whatsoever. But like, well, wait a second. Where's the roadmap? Nothing. We didn't hear nothing from nobody, which not surprising. Closing of London studios. I saw a bunch of articles. Barely made any headline news whatsoever. Now, I'm not saying that one studio closure is as bad as 4. No. It's still a studio closure where people have lost their jobs. So if we are the good humans, I'd like to believe that we are, does it matter? It shouldn't. People still lost their jobs. Yeah, let's keep the same energy.
They got to keep the same energy. If you're gonna try to hang Phil over a bridge and drop him because of the studios that he closed, because of actual reasons that make sense to the business future versus out of desperation, right? Let's be clear. London studios wasn't closed because they're in great shape and they said, you know what, we can have them do work. No, they closed them because their VR segment is failing, and that's all the studio was good for them, and they shut them down. And this is what it is. It's a place of weakness that they closed this studio, not a place of power. When I say that, I mean Microsoft is not down and they needed to get rid of those studios. They just made a choice. It was business, and this is what they decided based off of their situation. And again, they turned around and opened up a brand new studio right after the fact, right? So it shows you that they still have, they still have ambition to grow and still do things, in which they actually put that in there, that there's reasons why, and this is going to benefit us for these reasons, closing these studios. But PlayStation didn't have that. PlayStation didn't even put out another statement about it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, they're done. They're out. See ya.